Hey there everyone, welcome back to Fire Emblem Three Houses, and we've got quite the meaty part today because we actually do a few more, two more supports to cover, and then we've also got to do the mission because it's not a long mission, so I felt I might as well include it in the whole part because it's one of the quickest missions I had to do because of how the chapter is structured. It does stuff that I don't like, but at the same time, you know, I can give it points for being unique, but we'll get more into that later. So Mercedes is a support. This one is actually quite interesting because obviously, you know, Mercedes is by nature a very kind-hearted and sweet person. She tries to help out as much as possible. She's not confrontational. She wants to help people, and she wants to do the best she can for others. She's very selfless in that regard. And, like, she doesn't have the best relationship with her dad or anything, but she doesn't really have any hostility towards him. But then she receives this marriage proposal, you know, to be basically pawned off because of her crest. And now she's actually kind of considering, do I go along with this? I know it would help my dad a lot, but I don't want this. You know, she's kind of going through what Ingrid's going through. So, yeah, obviously she's having serious doubts because of the war in the situation. And again, this is why I like what really happens with the time skip, especially when, you know, Mercedes was in the Black Eagles, because she even said, like, this must be the will of the goddess so the church doesn't become so corrupt. But because of what's going on, because the foundations are broken, because life is tougher, she is starting to, you know, people are starting to look out for themselves more because, you know, life's really hard now and we're at war. They want to get through this. And obviously, Mercedes wants to do the right thing, but this, like, it's the wrong time. It really is the wrong time, yeah. Again, she's been, you know, a very passive person, but now she's like, she has to take a more active role in deciding what she wants to do in her life. If she doesn't want to get married to this person, she doesn't know, she doesn't have to. You know, beforehand she might have, there's no guarantee, but she might have just gone along with it. It's like, well, it's what my father would have wanted, and, you know, he is my father after all, and stuff like that. And, you know, maybe it's the will of the goddess, this was meant to happen, but no, she's like, you know, yeah, again, she just thought everything happened for a reason. And again, I, to an extent, believe that too. I do think everything does happen for a reason, good and bad. But at the same time, that doesn't, yeah, but I still take an active role in my life, and we still make choices. We don't just say yes to everything or just do what others tell us. Obviously, we can be influenced by others, and that's a good thing, depending on who's influencing you and how they influence your mind and your decisions and so on. So it's interesting to see Mercedes, you know, finally start to become her own person, because the person she was before was perfectly fine. You know, she was lovely. It's just now she has to be more independent. Not just she has to be more selfish. You know. Again, I remember seeing this just post some time ago where commit the 7 deadly sins. Just because you may act on one of them doesn't make you a bad person. For example, lust can be, you know, you lust after someone because you love them. That's not a bad thing. It's just if the lust goes too far. If you want something, that goes to greed, but maybe that want will inspire you to work harder and push yourself further. Again, it's not a bad thing. Just don't go too far. You know, pride may, you know, if you are prideful, it might help you to build confidence in yourself, to be a better person and maybe inspire others around you. Pride is not a bad thing, just don't do too much of it. And again, like Mercedes, she has to be, obviously she's not going to be overly selfish, but now she has to be a bit more, she has to take those steps to become, you know, to really make the choices that she wants to in life. Yeah.
Thank you for your encouragement.
But obviously she asks others for their help because, you know, it's always good to ask other people, especially in delicate situations like this. You don't just want to rush into things. And next is Manuela's support, which honestly I thought the A support was kind of weak because nothing's really resolved. But yeah, I know Manuela has issues, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you'd expect the support to go somewhere. But I got to the A one, I was like, not much really happened. She just says, okay, I'm going to take my frustration out on punching bags and stuff like that, or training. It's like, you know, maybe it would have been cool if the A support was like Byleth, you know, Byleth got to know her and you openly said, you know, it's like, maybe they feel like that because they don't get to know you. I know you, who you are, and I think you're lovely. Or maybe Manuela could start to finally clear up her act. Or maybe the A support would have been, you know, like the fact that she is having a good relationship with someone for once. I was like, I'm actually doing well because of the advice you gave me, the fact that I'm trying to hold back and clean up my act.
Once we're all safe.
All right.
Yeah, but again, she's just. But I just felt it was kind of weird how she suddenly was like, okay, let's just go training. I was like, I mean, yeah, Manuela's a feisty woman. Don't get me wrong, but
What are one or two men?
yeah, I felt it didn't really go anywhere. Other supports do. Don't get me wrong, other supports, but you'd think the Byleth one would be a bit more sentimental, considering how much she opens up to Byleth and how much she's clearly into him.
Maybe even 200 more.
Woman, I'm actually like, I wonder, what would Manuela be like to hang around with in real life? Because something tells me she may be a bit of work, but she would at least be fun to hang around with. Like, again, because again, she clearly likes a good drink, and she likes to flirt. I imagine she would be a lot of fun. Maybe a bit over the top, but fun at the very least.
Come on and give me a hand.
Like, she doesn't seem like a sourpuss or the type to just mope and bitch.
Maybe
Yeah.
200 if we've got him.
Obviously, you gotta be careful around Manuela. You say something wrong, she'll probably beat the crap out of you. But still, that's just my diagnosis. Oh yeah, so now we've got promotion time, because 3 units are gonna promote here. First, there's me. It's funny, because I become an assassin, and it's like, wait, because I didn't realize, oh wait, I can just go back to becoming an enlightened one. So I do that later down the line, because I prefer that class. But assassin works just fine right now. Assassin works just fine. That's usually the build I go with for Byleth. I don't know why, I just feel like assassin. I know Petra, like, works for assassin as well, swordmaster, but she'll become something else, and, Ferdinand becomes a paladin. And the funny thing was, like, and then I started to working, alright, let's make him a great knight, and then I looked at things like, being a great knight's worse than a paladin, so he just sticks as paladin. I find that so weird. Why did they make great knight and paladin, like, why did they make great knight a master class when it's worse than paladin unless you want more HP and defense, but you lose out on so much more?
My future is bright.
Yeah. Nice to see he's doing better than Sylvain, though. And yeah, Petra becomes the Wyvern. And oh boy, if you thought Petra was good before, but honey, well again, aside from magic attacks, you ain't seen shit. Petra is so good as a Wyvern Lord, it's not even funny. The extremely high speed, the high movement, the attack, alright, turns out, alright, she's about on the... Is she? No, she's not as fast as Felix, but at the same time, she probably has more attack power. Still, she's fast as shit.
The newly crowned
Yeah.
king of the Holy
So
Kingdom
yeah,
of
this
Orient
is something I did find interesting
has
about
declared fealty to the Church of
when I saw the Blue Lions as well
raising an
comparison.
army in preparation
Obviously,
for war with the Empire.
Dimitri and Rhea teaming up makes sense because, they both want to fight against the Empire.
As
But the
leader
thing
of
with
the
Claude that's
Alliance,
interesting is
Claude
that the
maintains
Alliance is in its
facade
own
of
territory, but the
neutrality,
Alliance is split
infighting
between,
those who support and those who oppose.
yeah, the Alliance itself is split. There are those who support and those who, go against the Empire, which I think makes sense for Claude because, like, the Alliance is more of a, it's not necessarily, it's more of a governmental structure than like an empire or a kingdom. So I find that very interesting, the fact that the Alliance is very much just split down the middle, which makes sense for Claude, because also he's very much a neutral party. He's not like a inspiring leader the way thing. I mean, he's a good leader, don't get me wrong, he's clever. Claude is very clever, and he knows how to read the situation, be very tactful, and really, really play to his advantages. But he also knows, he's not the type to highly inspire and be invigorating. So, that makes sense. The fact that he wouldn't, in such a difficult time when you need those figures, the fact that Claude isn't one, it's clear to see why only half of them would be behind him. So that's really, really cool.
Lady Edelgard's uncle, the regent of the Empire.
So yeah, Hubert gets a lot more to say in this pathway because he's like, he just consoles with you, he's mission briefing and all that jazz.
It seems to me that his plans differ from.
So yeah, this is also them hinting at the stuff that's going on with the people that Thing in the Dark, which I swear to God, that would, I know it will, alright, in terms of gameplay, it makes sense as to why they, what do you call it?
I understand how you must.
Why they, how do I put it?
I know it must be hard to even consider cooperating.
Why they are dealt with off screen, because the final fight is against Rhea. That's the climax for the Black Eagles, and it makes no sense. She's the main enemy. But it would have been nice to maybe, because again, they needed the help all the way up until that point, but it would have been nice to maybe have a bonus thing, maybe of like, I don't know, how do I put this? Because again, how do you integrate this into the gameplay? Because they can't kill them before they kill Rhea, but you've got to kill Rhea. So you kill Rhea, alright, maybe if you clear certain paralogs, or you achieve certain objectives in the level, or something like that, like maybe stuff to do with Cornelia's level, you achieve an objective there, or with Hubert's paralog, you do these prerequisites, or maybe you beat the last map under a certain turn limit, then you get extra stuff at the end, like bonus I think that would be cool, but, you know, at the same time, I get why it's not there. It's disappointing, but from a story perspective, it does make sense, because they needed their help up until the very, very end. They couldn't at some point go, alright, we're about to fight Rhea, let's go kill this, let's go deal with this slot, because they needed them every step of the way. Even they don't want them, even though, yeah, they don't want them, and even Hubert's like, I don't fucking like you lot. But it makes sense. It's disappointing, but at the very least, it's a logical disappointment. It's not like, oh, this is just a missed opportunity. At the very least, it ties into all that's going on. And again, I can't really fault the game for that, where it's just being logistical. It's not, you know, it's not pulling the stuff out of its ass for the sake of thing. Because if they did do it later, it would have been cool, but obviously it would have been less a lot more anticlimactic. Because, you know, you go from fighting Rhea to fighting Thingamajig, and even then, I think the Golden Deer deal with the ones, their stories focus on deal with the ones that sliver in the dark. Yeah, it's kind of weird how the ones that sliver in the dark are just kind of the thing. Because in the part 1, they're the big thing, but part 2 is like, okay, they're kind of there, unless you're Golden Deer. Alright, so yeah. So the Great Bridge Map. Oh boy, Bridge Map. No, this one's interesting because it's divided into two halves, and the thing is very, like, again, the way, it's kind of like an L shape. You just go along and then up. So it's a smaller map in terms of how it's spread out, but, you know, it's quite a long stretch of land and stuff like that. Enemy variety here is very good. And because of what happens, this map, all I can say is, if you do LTC, this map is pretty much made for you, because it pretty much means just, because what's interesting is, how, if once you do a certain thing, the enemy will retreat, and if they retreat too far, they lose, and again, they don't have very far to travel, so you've got to be highly aggressive and try and take them down, which again, I don't mind, because I'm more used to that now, playing Conquest and all that jazz, and I think it isn't. Again, I like how Fire Emblem Three Houses has, you know, what do we call it? How do I put this? Conditioned me to be a more aggressive Fire Emblem player. I'm perfectly happy to still play more passively and more defensively, but if, you know, now that I am more aggressive, I'm able to do much more with my units and better utilize them. I'm not, you know, sometimes it does mean I'd be a bit reckless. Like, again, there was that, if you saw the live stream, I got Mercedes, well, no, I know, the Mercedes thing was not me. That was just a case of really bad placement on the enemy's part. Oh, go Bunny. But like with Marianne, I got a little bit reckless and ended up, you know, getting her killed, which is a problem. Because I'm used to being more defensive. But at the same time, games like Three Houses, especially like, you know, because of how the enemies work and how it's balanced, you really, 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 really can't afford to be passive. You've got to be aggressive. And again, I can compliment the game for doing that. Again, you're rewarded for it, because it's like night and day in Three Houses, especially when you get to time skip, where if you play passively, you could, you know, it's like, you know, just like, you can get absolutely demolished. But if you play aggressively, you can absolutely destroy the enemy, something fierce. It's pretty incredible. But this map, I like its design. Alright, I do think it's quite cool in terms of just its design, its enemy variety, and what you have to do, because there's also treasure to get, so there's a lot to do at one point. My problem is that everything happens so quickly, and you really don't get a lot of breathing room. The game really this game, it does that whole ambush spawn, and it throws so much at you at this one bit, where it's kind of ridiculous. So again, it's one of those chapters where if you don't know stuff preemptively, you get fucked in the ass, and again, I never, ever, ever liked that. But, you know, what was I going to say? Yeah, so I don't like that, but at the same time, once you know what you're doing, this chapter is one of the more, you know, again, I do think it is pretty damn cool in that regard, just in terms of the thing, and I like the more aggressive nature, especially in a story context. It makes sense why everything's so aggressive, because, you know, you're taking back the bridge, you can't afford to thingamajig. And even here, you can see the discourse between the Golden Deer. By the way, the Golden Deer you see in this one is Ignatz and Leone. We'll see them later. Yeah, right now, I'm just, again, I'm very much just deciding, okay, what do I do? Because again, I don't like, you know, don't let grapplers have a turn to attack you, otherwise you will, you know, end up getting just absolutely demolished, because, well, unless they do 0 damage, then, you know, 0 damage is 0 damage. So again, I'm just really contemplating. Sorry that it takes long, but again, I always show this off. Yeah, I think I got a rapier, so I should be at... Oh, yeah, it's not enough. Edelgard, you got to do... If you want something done, you've got to do it yourself. And thankfully, the silver axe alone is enough, but the hammer helps. And the hammer looks pretty small, all things considered. And again, like with Dimitri, I like the attack animation, the way she swings it. It's still quite graceful, but there's a lot of weight behind her swing. Because again, she's kind of more of a powerhouse type character, just with her stats and then just the way, you know, she uses an axe. Stats in the axe. Okay. And then there's this guy. Oh, cool, I can double him. That's definitely a relief. One. Again, the chapter is not long. It's probably one of the shortest chapters in Three Houses. But if you want to do everything, you've kind of... It's weird, though. It's also one of those chapters where trying to do everything is really... Like, it's very difficult in a sense. Just because... Oh, nice. Very nice. Just because, you know, if you try running really far forward without killing the boss, the enemy will dogpile you, and then they can also get you from behind, so obviously you're kind of trapped. But, you know, and stuff like that. But if you wait too long, the boss will get away. It's a weird system. It's just, you know...
More fighting.
So, yeah, I think I'm going to dance for Bunny so she can move again. Because Dorothy is, again, she's... Oh, no, Linhardt? Okay, cool. Yeah, probably just maybe Physic. Because, again, if Dorothy goes there, she can't double. And, again, the Brawler. Again, Mages against Brawlers do... Oh, God, no. No way. Mages against Brawlers does not work. Yeah, I got double on Thingamajig, so heal Edelgard. Why? Because Edelgard's more likely to get hit. She can take more hits, but she's also a lot more likely to get hit. Again, Edelgard with that shield looks really cool. I know it's just a generic silver shield, but what the hell?
Put me in there.
Oh yeah, Caspar is a Brawler, yeah.
At your service.
Yeah, this what this character does kind of annoy me, because again, you split up the army, so you'd imagine, alright, we'll take a smaller force around, but then they literally spawn a giant force right then. I'm like, motherfucker, why would you do that? And nice level up. Oh yeah, we'll see Ingra's post-time skip design by then because we have a tea party. I think it's her birthday. It's like, yeah, go! Nah. Edelgard's just like, eh. Just so casually. And again, that fucking capes, man. It make things look so cool. Ignatz is quite far at the back, so we're not really going to see him in this thing. Because we don't fight him. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have lost any sleep over killing Ignatz, but you know, it's just a case of, yeah. Yeah. Oof. Goddamn. It's funny that she kind of, again, is seeing the hammer swipe, but then obviously she's swiping as if it's meant to be an axe, but the hammer's kind of like, you don't kind of fight the same way, you know, because hammer's blunt, whereas things are blade. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy. So yeah, I could do this all day. Again, Brawlers really, unless they have a really good attack stat, they suck against armor units. And I'm glad that armor units do have that now. Even though they have extreme weaknesses, they've got extreme strengths, one of them being Brawler and weak physical classes. They, like, again, if the Pegasus Knight isn't big enough, even though it's doubling, it's just like, no, that Pegasus Knight really isn't gonna end up doing much. Petra's like, lol. This guy didn't even have any weapons. That is just terrible. Yeah. I mean, they think they'll spawn on the second turn. I still like the way the grapplers look. Again, I love their design. They look very... Again, you can tell that... oh, damn it, I missed. You can tell that the artists were inspired a lot by, like, ancient Greek attire when it comes to a lot of the classes. And I love that about Three Houses. I want a Three Houses set in Greece. So off we go with the rapier. Ow. Here we go. Sorry, seeing Alec... I know Alucard uses like a long sword, but seeing just Ferdinand with a rapier, it just feels right. I got a Psychon, hooray. And then, yeah. So again, if you're in... Again, actually, for those of you who just... Alright, I'm interested to see how everyone else dealt with this chapter, especially on their first time, probably not knowing this stuff. Because again, I had to rewind time to adjust my strategy in order to adapt to the situation. Oh, that's a nice level up. But like, how did all of you deal with this chapter the first time, especially because everyone plays Fire Emblem differently? I know there are some that watch who are very LTC and quick focus. They probably, you know, this chapter probably was easy for them, but for everyone else who's probably a bit more casual, how did you go about it? I'm genuinely very interested. Because, you know, this type of chapter, because of how it kind of encourages player things, how did you adapt or how did you take advantage of that depending on how you play Fire Emblem and what you're used to? At the end of the day, I'd call it, I think it's a mid-tier map for Three Houses because I don't think it's amazing, but it's definitely unique. That's the thing. It's a unique map. It is very much its own thing. I just personally, like, again, I personally am not too fond of the design philosophy, and I really don't like how it does the whole respawn thing. That's the thing that really pisses me off about free house. It does a lot of ambush spawn. Not that they attack you on their turn, but just like they come out like this. They just come out of nowhere. I'm just like, oh, thanks. And there's this guy. I like Leone's new hairstyle. She looks more womanly. And obviously, this guy doesn't seem to like Claude.
From the smallest noble house in all the Alliance, you whiner.
Yeah, you little baby.
Enemy reinforcements. We didn't finish in time.
So obviously the game is like, yo, you've got to fucking hurry, otherwise you get punished. But at the same time, again, trying to achieve everything, you kind of can't. But at the same time, can you really blame it? Because again, in Fire Emblem, the actual, the ideal is to, the ideal strategy is to do it as quickly as possible. So this is kind of like, LCT's players, you get a map just for you. I assume that they liked it. Again, they might not. It might actually be really bad.
And I will avenge him here.
Yeah, about that. Sorry, honey. So yeah, this is the first one. Oof. I know a lot of people are probably going to be upset. Again, I don't do this because I hate any of these characters. I just do it because, maybe just to make the playthrough feel unique as well as just follow through with the dark tone of the story. This is a dark situation. I know I don't have to kill them, but,
You had such a full
I'm not holding... Again, I won't kill all of them. All depends. Like, again, the only reason I killed Leon is because she's right there and she's such a huge threat. So yeah, this guy just decides to fuck off. Again, they all decide to fuck off. It's like, oh shit, they lost Leone. Now we're screwed. Yeah, so, in that regards... What am I going to say? Yeah, like, again, remember, I don't kill these characters because I hate them. I just do it because, I'm just following through all out. I have to get rid of them, otherwise they pose a real threat. That's why I killed Leone. I mean, I could have not done it, but I was like... Also, it shows off just interesting conversations. Besides, it'll make it feel more interesting, because again, I'm the type where I want to use the characters, mainly focus on the characters that exist within that pathway specifically. Obviously, like, I've got, oh, go Bernie. Bam!
Pretty good, huh?
Nice. Oh yeah, I put CF, for Crimson obviously. I think I did it in the last one. But just to specify, because obviously Silver Snow will have different crits because different chapters and all that jazz. Hey, we got level up for Mercedes. Yeah, I'll definitely take that. God, took that magic tank. Oh yeah, so yeah, this is the boss that I finish off. And we just do the crit. So yeah, that's the objective, kill her. And there she goes. But yeah, so again, I like to, when I play free houses, I like to focus on the units that are exclusive to that house. Again, I got Lysithea in this pathway later on. I got her in Blue Lions because I like Lysithea. And again, I got Mercedes, I got Ingrid, I got Marianne, but I didn't do recruit everyone and stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to limit my recruitments. Obviously, church units I've got no problem with because again, they can be applied to every pathway. But I'd like to just focus on... Oh, there's Ignat. Yeah. I like to focus on the units that represent the house that I'm playing as. And look, Bernie got MVP. That was a pretty nice crit you got, though. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, chapter's over. Though, again, as someone who loves to route enemies just for the experience points, I was left a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. But at the same time, it's one of those chapters where you've got to kind of hurry. And again, from a story perspective, it makes sense. Like, look, let's just get the bridge and hurry the fuck up. I mean, to be fair, if this was a route mission and if this was a route mission, actually, that would have been an interesting route. You know what? This could have made for an interesting route mission if, and hear me out, let's say you kill either Ignatz or Leone first. Or, you kill the boss, the main enemy, you kill one of the main captains. And because of that, the enemy starts to retreat. But let's say you, depending on how many enemies you kill, you can maybe unlock certain things, maybe a guidance chapter or something like that, or get some bonus items. So it's a route mission, but you've got to pick and choose your battles and stuff like that. Maybe. And keep in mind, Leone is a big threat, and she's got a thing, so you don't want her. So that's why I killed her, because, if I took my time,
Magnificent warrior.
Yeah, even Dorothea's.
The professor back just like old times, but...
Again, that's something, as you can see, Dorothea, this really gets to Dorothea, the characters that you kill. And again, I like that Fire Emblem does that. The fact that when you kill someone, it is meaningful. Not saying Fire Emblem never did that, no. It's just, for the longest, again, usually it's not, it's more of a, because again, you don't really see it take impact on the rest of the cast, just the main characters. But seeing, Dorothea and Bernie get really upset about this, it works so well, just to see how,
Bernie, you can't
Obviously, Bernie and Dorothea, well, Bernie, you know, she's a very timid person. Dorothea just, you know, she's a very sweet and loving person, so they're not so battle-hardened. Whereas Petra is, you know, Petra's lovely, don't get me wrong, but she's battle-hardened. She's battle-hardened like crazy. I'm pretty sure Mercedes is the same. They're not, like, some people are battle-hardened, so they don't get as emotionally invested in the conflict. But characters like, obviously, Mercedes, Ash, Mercedes, Ash, Flame, Dorothea, Bernadetta, Marianne, no, I can't say Lysithea. Lysithea is a lot more, you know, she's a bit more, dour and a bit, you know, a bit sterner. Ignat's kind of too, he's kind of like that as well. But like, you know, Felix, Sylvain, Didu, not Dildu, that's just silly. Also, yeah, those descriptions at the beginning from Geralt got so, so abbreviated now. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. And yeah, so now we're just discussing Claude. Yeah.
And his schemes are still going.
But obviously, because Claude's neutral, Claude's also, again, you can spare Claude, whereas you can't spare Dimitri. So as you can see, like, Claude just kind of plays the neutral party in all this. Obviously, no one really has grudges against Claude, and that's why he probably takes out the people in the background, because, you know, he works in the shadows in certain sense. So, and probably, I don't know how they tie into the Blue Lions. I mean, obviously, you know, Captain Geralt and Leone takes a great offense to it, but maybe they've also done stuff to the Alliance. Sorry, Golden Deer. So I'm interested to see where it goes from there, because obviously the Blue Lions and the Golden Deer have a conflict going on because of, you know, the leaders, whereas Claude, he's not necessarily friendly with them, but he ain't got beef either. But he's also very clever. That's the thing. Claude is no one to be trifled with, and that's the thing. None of the lords underestimate Claude. They're not like, oh, Claude doesn't matter. It's like, okay, Claude, we've got to be very careful.
One wrong move and the alliance will shatter.
Yeah, but obviously Claude is in a very, very tight spot. He's trying, you know, because he's taken a neutral stance, he doesn't have the full support of either side. He's in that middle thing, and if you lean too much one way, you lean too much the other way, the whole thing will crumble. Whereas Edelgard, you know, and Dimitri, they can fight. Like, even if they lose a battle, they'll keep fighting because they have that support and they have that drive. Whereas Claude, not so much. Yeah. Right, if you excuse me, I just need a quick drink. My mouth is starting to feel a bit sore.
Do you not think we should take Deirdre at once?
Deirdre, the aquatic capital. A city floating on the ocean.
It's funny. Deirdre, the aquatic capital. The place where we faced all those wyverns for the first time, and I nearly shat myself. Yeah, only this time Shamira, Alois won't be joining us. Why? Because no one's going to... that's the thing. I'm probably not going to do it in this run or the Silver Snow run, but I really want to do another run of Three Houses, Silver Snow specifically, where I just use the... Well, actually, no, it wouldn't be Silver Snow, it'd probably be Blue Lions, so I can recruit them all. But I would love to do a run where it's just church units so I can really get to see how good they are. Like, train up Cyril, make the best use of Manuela and Hanneman, because I know that people said if you like max out Hanneman's or get to A rank with his reason, he gets a really good spell, and Manuela has like Warp, which is pretty cool. I think she has Warp, I can't remember. So doing that would be pretty damn cool. Yeah. But obviously another thing that's a problem with the Black Eagles is that this thing moves really quick. Like, we're back. Alright, let's take the Golden Deer. It's like, can we have a few missions just to really let this sink in? I felt it would have been like, you have one Golden Deer mission, then you have another Golden Deer mission to get more of a grasp of the situation and what's going on, and then you have a third one to end it. Like, you know, the next Golden Deer mission would have, say, Raphael in it and Lorenz, because you don't see them at all in this pathway. So, you know, that would have been interesting, but obviously that's not the case. That I feel is a missed opportunity. They should have had maybe one or two more missions per like thing. So one for the church, one for the Blue Lions, one for the Golden Deer. And oh god, I love Ingrid's design so much. Like, the short hair works with her because of typologies, but like the green turquoise of the emeralds of the outfit and like the armor, she looks like, you know, she looks like a legit like Valkyrie, but it's so cool. Like, she's not overly designed or anything like that. She's not like super glamorous, but she's not also just super tomboyish and not look, you know, she still looks very inspiring and beautiful, and I love that about, she has probably one of my favorite post-time skip designs. It just so cool, and it works alongside her as well. Like, obviously she's never concerned with glamour and fashion, but she's very prideful and stuff like that, so she has a really nice design. Plus her friends Dorothea and Mercedes have tried to make her look more upstanding. So yeah, and I got a perfect tea time, so that's cool. Again, I do really like Ingrid. And again, in things, she's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, just give her... no guess. Okay, sorry, no guess this time.
Professor,
Strength and stamina are necessary for fighting on horseback, as is footwork.
Well, yeah, strength and stamina are needed for just about any fight. Okay, sorry you don't like the tea. Okay, she just gave me the evil air.
What? Is there something on my face?
No, you're the one giving me the evil air. You're giving me the evil air.
For the treat. I had such
So,
a great time.
Yeah. God, I just fucking love Ingrid's personalized design. A lot of them are... I don't think there's a really bad one, to be honest. I think they're all really, really damn good. So anyway, that's the end of that part, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry it's a bit of a beefer, but, you know, it's over and done with. So, next time we meet, I believe it's more supports? Yeah, a couple more supports to do, and then we're going to take the fight to Claude, and we're going back to a chapter we've done, but it's one of the best chapters, maps in the game, so there's not really much to complain about. Until then, thank you all very much for watching. I will see you all next time. Take care, and have a wonderful day.